Hi, the Ring Fanatics Podcast, episode number 82. I am Nick, your host. With me, as always, my co-host Joel
Yo.
Otero Jr. 82 episodes in, less than 20 now, away from 100. Go subscribe to us on YouTube, as always. If you're new to the channel, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Spotify, and anywhere else we can be found. If you have not done so already, Joel did an interview that was posted this past Monday with Isaac Rodriguez and Chris Barton. Go check that out if you haven't done so already, and leave that a like and a comment, as well as this episode as well on YouTube. So today's episode, Joel, I'm gonna allow you to take this one over. It was your
Okay.
idea, your topic. You take it over, man. Present this one.
So we actually talked about doing this last week, but
Yeah.
we decided just to talk about Money in the Bank. So last week was the anniversary of the NWO actually forming
Mm-hmm.
um the NWO. And it was such a dope moment. And in history, we look back at it as like the turning point. Well, when Hogan joined, it was like the turning point of like, whoa, this is that he's gonna be heel. It was a whole big thing. Now, there was another group in WWF called D-Generation X. I was Now we talked about this last week, but then this weekend on A&E there was the documentary for
Mm-hmm.
Undertaker, which I caught the last 20 minutes.
I haven't caught
Pissed
it
at
yet, but I'm trying.
myself. I gotta watch it because the last 20 minutes were dope. But then there was a show that debuted right after, and it was called Rivals. And the thing is, they pick like a famous rivalry and they go over it and they talk. There's a whole bunch of talking heads just talking about the rivalry, and it was based on Brett and Sean, and Brett and Sean also spoke. And I've noticed this for a while. I think growing up, I didn't really look at it because I used to buy all those DVDs, the documentaries, and
Yeah.
all that, and watch it. I didn't notice till now that WWE, because they won, they get to tell the story. I never really looked in, never really thought about it till now, and I was
Like,
like,
what do you mean? Like, as opposed to what? Like, as
the true story.
okay, yeah.
Okay,
That's what I was thinking.
so like the Brett and Sean thing, right?
Yeah.
The whole thing was we don't want Brett going over to Nitro with the belt, right? That was their thing. And in past documentaries, Vince is like, we didn't want him, and Triple H also, and Sean, we don't want him showing up the next day on Nitro. It's a fucking lie because his contract wasn't up till December 15th. So he couldn't do that anyway.
Yeah.
Survivor Series happened in November. He had a whole month to sit at home and just chill before he showed up in WCW. Which Brett said, I will lose it to anyone else but Sean. But WWE likes to show you the story in a way that's like, oh, but come on, Vince and Sean and Triple H, like he's gonna leave with the belt, and he's gonna show up on Nitro with it. And it's like, homie, the dude, you offered the guy a contract, right? The
Yeah.
story is Vince offered him a contract, then decided to pull out because he couldn't pay him. Then told him to take the WCW deal. And Brett was like, he didn't really want to, but he had to because of his family. Like the money, there was
Yeah.
no
Money
other
was that.
choice, right? No other choice. This man was a company man to the last day. So the plan was for Sean and Brett I know off topic, but we're going to get back to the story. Sean and Brett to fight Survivor Series. Brett was going to drop it to Sean, which he was fine with. The story goes, Brett went to Sean, said, yo, listen, I heard we're fighting each other at Survivor Series. Um, I'm gonna do the job, da 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 da, like whatever is needed of me of the company. Shawn Michaels said, cool. Just letting you know if it was the other way around, I wouldn't. Not for you. So that's when Brett said, yo, Sean could go fuck himself. I'm not dropping the title to Sean. I'll drop it to anybody else but
Yeah.
Sean. Like you could put him in a match with Goldust. He would have dropped the belt.
Yeah.
He just did. It was anybody. Like you remember a couple years ago where I was like anyone but Roman to win
Yeah.
the Rumble. It was
Yeah.
anyone but
But
Sean.
Sean. Yeah.
But they tell you in the story, oh, but he was gonna leave with the title. We had to do what we were gonna do. Um, Shawn Michaels is such a company guy, which really Brett was the company guy,
Yeah, other way
and
around.
they fucked up, right? So that's why I'm talking about stories being told differently because they bought the company. Same way that they talk about like 2000 WCW being horrible, like wrestling. Somewhat it's true, but sometimes it's good. Like I've seen no episodes of WCW, and it's not as bad as people who think. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But WWE has put in our mind after '99, WCW was dead.
Yeah.
Even though they were still getting 4 million people watching their show, which Vince would fucking have a heart attack if WWE had those numbers
Oh
today.
yeah.
They barely break
He would be the most
1.5. You know what I mean? They
yeah.
barely touch 2. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
and they're not even going up against anybody.
Exactly.
So, yeah, it was a different time, this and that, but they tell stories differently. So they always tell you, even they have a show on the network, on Peacock, on the cock, that talk about
On the clock.
um the Monday Night Wars.
Wars. Yeah.
And they speak about DX and nWo. And they always put them on the same pedestal. Like they were the same thing, like they had the same effect. I don't think, in my opinion, I don't think DX had an effect on WWF winning the war. But they
Oh
like to
no.
make you think it.
Yeah.
Like if you watch the doc, they're like, "Oh, this Triple H, like get it out your mouth."
That's your
It
son-in-law. I
wasn't,
get it.
you know what
Yeah.
I mean? So I just wanted to talk to you about it. How do you feel? Do you think DX had a more pivotal role, or even close to what nWo had?
At that time,
Like, of course,
I,
popularity, the suck it thing, the
yeah.
merch, cool. But
But
like,
if you think about it, like no one really says that like DX was the one that helped WWE. You know what I mean? No one says that.
but but people always point to Shawn and like
Yeah.
even in the Monday Night Wars,
Shawn
they
Michaels, yes, but like
they
the whole group, no.
I don't even
I
know
wouldn't
about
say that.
that because Shawn was gone before the Attitude Era began. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? He
Yeah.
was gone, and I think the person who fucking won the war for WWF from day one to the day that WCW closed was Stone Cold.
Yeah. Stone
So
Cold.
Attitude Era, in my eyes, even though people say um the day Brett got screwed, that's when the Attitude Era started.
Yeah.
I could see that. I could see that. I could also see Attitude Era starting WrestleMania 13 when Brett beat Stone Cold and Stone Cold was bleeding and passed out. I could also see that. I could see your argument for that.
Yeah.
But I could also see the argument for being the night after WrestleMania 14, where he was the champion. He came out, that solidified him as, yo, I'm taking the ball, I'm running with it.
Yeah. I mean, because the thing is, like, if you like, let me ask you this. Though. Let me
What's
ask you
up?
in a different. I don't mean to like read, ask it differently your question,
No,
but
yeah, go.
who do you think? Going a little bit off topic with the WCW thing,
Yeah.
who do you think now had that bigger impact on wrestling
In total?
in
Like
general? Yeah,
like in the Attitude Era?
or from then to now
From then to now, who's had the most impact?
on wrestling.
Probably.
Let's talk
Wait, do
about it.
they have
Let's
to
talk
be in
about it.
the?
Let's
Do
have a
they
conversation. Yeah,
Do they have to be in the Attitude Era, or could it be
this
after?
at any point in wrestling.
Okay, because I think Cena has had the most effect.
Oh no, like between NWO and
Oh,
DX. Sorry,
NWO.
between, yeah.
NW. I thought you meant like any wrestler. That's
I
what
mean,
I was
like,
saying.
like at
No,
any
I
point in
think
wrestling. Sorry, at any point in
I
wrestling.
think NWO. I think NWO. They were the ones who kind of like kicked off the war. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? They made it cool to be bad guys.
yeah.
Like I feel DX was
Like
always
I don't give a crap about anything type of motive.
yeah. And then DX started doing basically the same thing, but I
Yeah,
don't feel like it was to the extent that NWO was doing it.
yeah, yeah. I think it was just like let's do our own different group that like
Yeah,
you can
because
get people. Go ahead, yeah.
at that time WWF had like it was gang warfare.
Yeah.
You had Nation, you had DX, you had
Yeah.
Los Boricuas, you had oh my god, I can't even think of the biker gang right now. I can't even think of their
Ministry
name. No, that was
wasn't the
also
bike.
Taker
Yeah.
Ministry. Fuck, I can't
Why
think
am
of
I
their name,
thinking?
but
Yeah.
whatever.
That's
There was a whole bunch of groups,
fraction. Yeah.
right? So DX, you either loved them or you hated them, right?
Yeah.
But you had other options. NWO, you either loved them or you hated them, but they still entertained you.
Yeah. I mean,
And they still got heat.
yeah. Until this day,
DX
it's
was
like,
more
yeah.
like between. They were
Yeah.
heel sometimes, babyface sometimes. It was depending the situation.
And yeah, I think you're right. I think I was gonna say like they're more the entertainment part of group
Yeah.
as opposed to NWO, where like they didn't really do much besides be the bad guys. It was
Yeah.
just the three of them, and then X Pac, so four of them,
Yeah. Which shout out to X Pac, the
who
original
was in both.
vlogger when he
Yeah.
had coming out with the video camera, videotape and everything. The original
And
YouTube.
who was
He
in
was
both
the original
factions.
Brandon. He was
Yeah.
the original Brandon.
It's crazy to think about.
With
Like
the
he was, like I
Bucks.
said, he was in both groups. Like he was
Yeah.
in DX and in NWO.
And he
Wasn't
was
was he like
Wow.
in both? Like how was like he was in WCW first, then moved over to
Yeah.
DX,
Well, he was in WWF, made the jump to WCW
then went back.
because he was part of the clique.
Yeah.
He went with Horn Nash, but then got released by WCW.
Ah. Okay.
Then the night after WrestleMania 14, the same night that Stone Cold came out with the belt, Shawn left WWF, which
Okay.
we'll get into a conspiracy I have later on with
You gotta-
Shawn that people don't think about, but
Like
makes
you thought
sense.
about. You thought about. Yeah.
Makes
Yeah.
sense. I'm not the only one that has thought
Okay.
about it. So yeah, he joined back. They were like, "Oh, the famous line, you look to your blood, you look to your family, you look to the clique." And then
Yeah.
X Pac came out. And that was like, whoa, like that was their first like fire at WCW.
Yeah.
Because it was like, all right, now it's game time. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But even that DX, when people talk about it, that yes, they were entertaining. Yes, it was dope. But I don't know if they had the same impact. Because I grew up on DX.
Yeah. Yeah.
Grew up on DX. Love DX. But I don't know if they had the same impact as the NWO.
But the reason why I asked that is because like I feel like with a lot of I'm looking at it towards of like what because I wouldn't be surprised if people made the argument for both in my
Yeah.
opinion because I wasn't a wrestling fan. I don't think I was around when in general when the NWO became
Yeah,
a thing, but like you weren't around either.
I wasn't around for NWO.
Yeah.
I caught
Probably the
I
tail
caught
end of it.
DX 99 2000. That's what I grew up on. That DX when Triple H was already a champion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now then that's when they were making noise. But again, WCW was already losing the war. Like NWO wasn't what NWO was. NWO was now NWO Black and Silver or whatever they call it. I think it was NWO 2000 they called themselves.
Okay.
And it was Jeff Jarrett, Bret Hart. It was Kevin Nash. It was a weird ass group.
Wasn't it the Wolfpack too? Wasn't that like after everything?
That was before. That
Before,
was
okay.
when Hogan was still champion. That was like 97, 98 Wolfpack.
Yeah. Okay. Because I was gonna say like there's
Because they did the same. Bullet Club took the same storyline with Cody and Kenny arguing. It was Kevin and Hogan. Hogan took Hollywood. Kevin had Wolfpack. So it was like that.
Because I was gonna say like both. The reason why I say like, in my opinion, I could be completely wrong. People might be like, I agree with it. But like, the reason why I say like people can make an argument with either one being a major impact. Because if you ask, let me say my sides for both.
No, this is why I like it because I know that you didn't grow up watching wrestling till late, and that's why I want to have this conversation because I want to see your point of view.
Yeah, that's from my point of view for DX. I knew DX more before NWO.
Yeah, of course.
For me, on the top of my head, I never watched a single episode of anything that NWO was a part of.
Gotcha.
But the thing was for DX, like as you said before, like DX entertaining. If you ask like someone who's not a wrestling fan, I guarantee you they'll probably say DX before NWO. Like, oh, I used to watch DX, and what about NWO? Oh, probably didn't catch them or something. I don't know. But if you ask a non-wrestling fan, and that might sound like a dumb argument, dumb reasoning, but like when if you ask people, I think DX will pop up first, maybe because it was more recent than NWO. But I
And
think that's
it was around more.
yeah, it was around
They
more.
kept bringing it up. If you remember the '06 reunion, if you
Yes,
remember the Raw, was it the 1000 episode that they all came out? Well, whatever
the
episode that was that they came on the
the
tank.
25th anniversary
Was
with
that
the
the
one with
20?
the Manhattan Center.
No, not that one. There was one that they all came out on a tank. I think it
Oh
was
yeah,
Raw
yeah,
1000,
yeah.
if I'm
I know
not
what you mean. Yeah,
mistaken. I'm not sure. I'm
because
trying to think. Or maybe 20th anniversary. I can't remember where it was, but they all came out on a tank. It was a big moment. But yeah, I feel you. I
yeah,
feel
because
you.
like speaking of that as well, like that as well. You know how many every single anniversary show requires DX. When I mean, rest in peace, Scott Hall. But like before his passing, when was the last time you've seen an NWO reunion besides the Hall of Fame?
But again, that's
And I know it's
because
a WCW thing.
it's
I
a
understand.
WCW. And Vince, that's not Vince's
Yeah, that's not Vince's.
creation.
Yeah, exactly. So I understand that
Same way I feel that the indie guys that come in don't get like the shine that they deserve is
because they're
because
not
Vince looks
there.
at
Oh
them
yeah,
like, I didn't create you, homie.
yeah,
I created Roman. I created
exactly.
Cena. I kind of created Rollins. So they're gonna
Yeah,
get the spotlight before you. You
exactly.
know what I mean?
Yeah, so I
So
get like why they don't
that's
shine or
why yeah.
yeah. So I get why they don't really put shine on NWO because of that.
Hmm.
But like you also like in terms of like wrestlers in general, you hear the stories from these wrestlers growing up and they say like, "Oh, I used to do the DX chop in school and get in trouble." You don't hear them say, "Oh, I used to do too sweet every second." And
Nah, you
it's
hear it, bro. You
I'm
hear
not.
it.
I hear
You just
more of the
got
DX chops more
you,
than
you
the
gotta
too
stop
sweet
watching
sometimes.
the specials. You gotta
Yeah,
go watch some WCW documentaries.
I
And
may
that
be
was a
watching the wrong
big thing, the
interviews, but
too sweet. The big
yeah, it
thing was
was.
too
Yeah, I mean, I'm
sweet.
not saying it wasn't,
I met a
but like,
couple people that own NWO shirts that
be-
don't even know wrestling. And
yeah.
I'm
I
like,
mean,
oh
that's
yeah,
I was gonna bring that up too. I was going to
there's a
mention that
lot of
point.
things like that. But I think like how I look at it is before NWO, being a bad guy,
Was cool.
nah, it sucked.
Oh, before and
Yeah,
yeah, before
before then,
NWO, yeah,
when they did it, then it became like maybe I'll be a bad guy.
yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I mean? If you look at all the older wrestlers, nobody grew up and said, "I want to be a bad guy." You know what I
yeah.
mean? You have
Not
those that, and then there's the different generations because you have the guys like Punk and all those guys in that generation that watched Piper, and they're like, "I want to be Piper. I want to be that heel." But then that was also a heel that was hated. Now you have
yeah,
people that say, "Yo, I want to be Scott Hall. I want to be a I want to be a heel, but be light and be cool with it."
yeah.
It's kind of how the Miz is. He's a heel.
It's
He's
cool with it.
cool. He's a
Yeah,
cool heel, and you either love him or you hate him. You know what I mean? There's no in between. There's no like, Miz is alright. It's either you love him or you hate him.
and same thing with MJF. Like you love to
Yeah,
hate him, and he's
exactly,
comfortable doing it,
exactly.
and he's
But
comfortable
I
with it.
just feel that they've had um, so much more of an effect in that way of doing the heel thing, bringing up WCW. Nobody was watching. Nobody was like not nobody, but like they weren't getting the numbers they were before outsiders got there, before NWO
Yeah,
started forming. Then and also WCW had a couple groups, but there was no powerhouse group.
yeah.
Same way in WWF. I don't think DX
At some
was
point,
they were the
they were the
only
only.
group.
Yeah,
They were the only group. It wasn't that they became the powerhouse though. It was
that's why
still ministry like in the back chilling and stuff.
Nation
You know what I mean?
Domination was
But like
kind of got up there, but
when it got who was it? It was four, right? I'm not bugging, right? Yeah, four.
yeah, just yeah, no
Yeah.
X Pac, no China, or
Yeah.
was it? Yeah.
No, I'm saying when it became Triple H, X Pac, and the Outlaws, that's when they were on top because there was no other
Okay, yeah,
group.
yeah,
There was no other faction. You would have little factions, but not nothing crazy. You had like the Job Squad.
yeah.
who's
That's I guess.
come on, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you had
Yeah.
the corporation,
Uh,
which was just Vince, Rock, Shane, and Shane wasn't even fighting at the time, and then like just a whole bunch of just heels. It
yeah.
wasn't like it was more just DX was around.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
But
And you,
that's just my opinion. I don't think DX had the same effect that NWO had. Not saying DX had no effect,
yeah.
because of course
Because
I grew up on it.
yeah, you
DX.
mentioned
I
like
got DX toys. I got the glasses. I was saying suck it in class. I was getting in trouble. Come on.
yeah, and it's like you did mention like they do like even till this day you see people having some sort of like type of merch related to NWO, whether it's the actual NWO logo or like another three letter that we have for
You
the
told me
TRF.
you've never watched
Yeah,
a
I mean,
Nitro, and we
yeah,
got
I've never watched,
NWO
and we had
merch. You know what I
exactly,
mean? It's just the effect they had.
exactly, and it's like
It was
if
cool.
you if you go if you
It
go
was
if
cool.
you go to any wrestling event, I guarantee you can grab like a
You're
handful of people of
you're
wearing this
gonna
that shirt.
find an NWO shirt.
Exactly. More than DX. I haven't seen
Yeah,
a person
you'll find NWO and Bullet Club shirts.
exactly. Those are like I'm not trying to shit on DX, but you haven't really seen. When was the last time you seen
No,
someone wear
yeah,
DX? Like I don't know. You can't really think of one right now, right? Like you
yeah,
probably saw one like recently with an NWO shirt on
yeah. I've
at
seen
a show
more recent NWO than the DX shirt, and was and that's what it was. It was I.
because it was cool. Like you said, it
It's
was
just
cool.
cool.
Just
Yeah, it
it
was
was just
just
cool.
cool, and I didn't even grow up with it. I watched it. I was like, yo, those
There's so many.
motherfuckers
Yeah,
was
there's so many.
cool. Like, oh shit, I missed out on this. Like,
Exactly.
oh
Yeah,
shit.
exactly. What did you say that the Bullet Club is like that now? Like, do you think they have the same effect now that they did?
Now they're getting like they're getting their groove back now. There
Yeah,
was a couple years right there after the elite left them in shambles because I think that whole Wolfpack storyline fucked the Bullet Club up for a couple years.
like that whole elite thing.
That whole fucking Kenny and the whole Kenny and Cody thing fucked it up.
Like how?
Because then it became because Bullet Club was the whole thing was, yo, we're outsiders. That's why it's so close to NWO. They're outsiders. If you look at them, none of them were Japanese at the beginning.
Yeah,
Everybody
yeah,
was outsiders. We're coming in and getting your money and taking your belts, and we're going back to America and we're flaunting them around.
yeah,
That was the whole, and that's why they were hated. But then also, they were cool as fuck. You know what
yeah,
I mean? So it
yeah.
was like it went hand in hand. Then what happened with NWO is what happened with Bullet Club. Now they start getting members, but what Bullet Club did right was as they got rid of a member, they injected a new one. NWO was just like people just coming in left and right.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, I think Bullet Club that whole storyline fucked them up because then you had the elite split up and they were acting like it was two sides, but there was really three sides because then Tamatong and the OGs were tight, and then once the elite left, Bullet Club was just a shell of itself.
yeah,
It's not till now that it's starting to pick up again. I want to say when Jay White took over as the leader, that's when it started, and he became champion. And he legitimized
yeah,
himself. He was cutting promos, and all of them were fucking started to kill it. And everybody was making a difference. They weren't just throwing up a two sweet and taking a 1, 2, 3 pin.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Now they're finally getting back up there. As
yeah.
much as
Because
people don't want to say it because oh your favorite wrestler's not in it anymore, they're fucking coming back up.
they are, yeah. Because when it first started, it felt like kind of similar to NWO. I would say, is
Yeah.
that they had like a group of wrestling all stars. It
And that's what
was
attracted me.
stacked.
That's what
Exactly.
attracted me. First, I told the story to you. I think that I bought the shirt from the Young Bucks at a random show.
No, I don't think you told me
So
that one.
so I went to fuck I'll say I went to a HOG show.
Yeah, say it.
I
Don't
went to
worry.
I went to a HOG show. This is when I actually went to their shows. Um, and it was at a boxing gym. It was at their old school.
Okay.
and the whole card was for the tag titles. It was
Okay.
like to crown the first ever House of Glory tag team champions. And you had people on the card. You had Amazing Red and Michael Ripwreck. The main event ended up being LAX versus the Young Bucks.
Okay.
Um, Young Bucks won. They were the first ever champions. When they came out, though, they had these dope shirts on that said Bullet Club. And I was like, yo, that's a dope ass shirt.
Yeah.
So I was introduced just by the shirt. And I was
Exactly.
like, oh shit, that's sick. Yo, I forgot what year it was. But I went to the show by myself
Might have been like 2015, maybe 2014.
earlier.
Earlier.
I was in high school, maybe sophomore year.
Damn.
So
That you.
maybe like 2013.
Okay.
Maybe
Okay.
2013. I was still a sophomore. And I was like, my pops was picking me up after the show because it was like a couple blocks from my grandmother's house. And I was like, yo, show's done. But I also need a couple bucks because I need to buy this shirt. So I
Gonna-
bought an original Bullet Club shirt on a Hanes like
was it
t-shirt.
like
It
a
was
they were there something like I set up a table in
like
front of
a
them? Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
a little merch table.
Oh yeah. That's
It
cool.
was a Hanes t-shirt
It
with
was a
just
Hanes
Bullet Club on it. It wasn't an official like this was
logo.
before this was before New Japan started really pushing them. And then all of a
Okay.
sudden they had all this merch.
So you were there from the beginning. You were there since day one.
Yeah, I got introduced by just a shirt. And
That's
then right after that, I think AJ like maybe like a couple months later joined Bullet Club. I was like, ooh, this is about to pick up.
yeah.
And then that's when it started getting wild. And then it was like Bullet Club everywhere. Bullet Club is killing it. You know what I mean? So it was
Exactly.
just like little things like that. Oh, they're cool. Like that's what attracted me. I was like, yo, but they're also killing it in promos. They're killing it in matches. You know what
And
I
they were
mean?
everywhere.
Like
They were everywhere.
everywhere, bro.
That
Everywhere.
was insane.
And everybody in the group was doing something significant.
Yeah.
I felt like that's how nWo was at the beginning. I feel like at the beginning of DX with Shawn and Triple H, it was more like not trying to share on Triple H, but at the time, he was, if you like watch it, kind of looks like Shawn Michaels lackey. You know what I mean? It looks like
Yeah. He's a
he just
carrying. He
looks
was
like,
carrying.
yeah, he's just the background guy. He's
Yeah.
here when I tell a joke, he laughs.
Exactly.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Basically, that's how it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then he got China, and then he got the European belt, and then he started building himself up.
Yeah.
But at the time, it was Shawn. Shawn was DX. You know what
Exactly.
I mean? Then when Triple H took over, X Pac came in, the Outlaws came in, but it still took them a little bit of time that the Outlaws started getting the title picture, the tag title picture. X Pac got into the light heavyweight, right? Light heavyweight, yeah.
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 The light world. Yeah.
Before it was the cruiserweight, the light heavyweight championship storylines. Then they like broke up for a while.
And they were like doing their own thing, but
They
like they were still
got
representing
together, bro.
the
They got together the night after WrestleMania 14, and they broke up at WrestleMania 15. Not a lot of
but
people talk about that, which is
yeah.
crazy. Because then they get back together in
Yeah.
like 2000. Sometime I can't remember when they got back together, but what's crazy is that if you think about it, like the first run was only a year,
Exactly.
and then
But
they,
it took off quickly though. It was not something
oh
that
yeah,
like, it took you a
yeah,
while to do, and then it broke up. It's
yeah.
like it took off quickly.
But what happened was, they did it right.
Yeah.
They did it right. Triple H was on the come up, right? Now they had to
Exactly.
legitimize him. They need guys to be behind him. X Pac was coming from WCW, so people already knew who he was.
Yeah.
The Outlaws were already rising up because that night they were fighting. The night that they joined, they were in a cage match where I believe Cactus Jack and Terry Funk. So they were already a tag team, like doing shit.
Established. Yeah.
Yeah, like they were already doing shit. So like they did it
That
right.
was
Like
was that like post Ass Man Billy Gunn? Or is that like
no, this is
what
when he became Ass
Ass
Man.
Man? Oh really?
Yeah. And
I
then
thought it was before that.
after DX, he became like that's when he got the song. Oh, I'm an ass man. Shout out to that song.
Yeah.
What a time. But
Uh,
not saying like You see, I show love to DX.
Yeah, yeah.
I love
Me too.
DX.
I love DX, but it's like
I love DX.
NWO.
It's just like in the bigger picture of all of it. If you look at, and not also saying that they had no effect, but look in the grand scheme of things, who had the most effect was NWO. But now also, is that because when they started, all of their guys were legitimate like stars already? Maybe.
I was gonna say like it. I was gonna mention that too because like if you had Razor Ramon, Kevin Nash, Diesel jump right over
Yeah.
already with Hollywood Hogan, that's already money. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like putting. It's like it's like I
But
don't. I'm gonna
also
say this.
that's a risk because you don't know if Hogan's gonna work.
Exactly because
Is this guy
I
a
was
good
gonna say
heel?
like
Is
in
he a good
terms.
heel?
I was gonna say like in like current terms in
Yeah.
current wrestling stuff.
It
Like
makes sense on
imagine
paper.
putting like the Shield together now and starting that up now instead of doing it back in 2012.
Yeah.
Imagine how different that would be if
Yeah.
Roman paired with Seth Rollins and Moxley.
Yeah.
That would be a big deal, you
Oh
know?
yeah, of course.
Because back then they were just three guys who were on the rise,
Yeah.
and then now they're all stars, big stars.
Exactly.
So it's like, imagine if they would have started that now. Is that a little risky, or would that be automatically be star power and like the biggest faction right now?
I mean, it was risky when they first did it because no one knew what
I mean,
the
yeah, I
real.
mean, like in terms
You know
of
what I mean?
like
But
yeah,
right now, I feel like in the moment right now, I don't think it's so risky because they're all stars.
exactly.
Now it's like now it'd be like let me think. I don't know because Mox does heel and babyface,
Yeah,
but
because
maybe turning Mox heel again it's kind of tough.
he
I don't
kind of
know.
gives the like, he.
Does it
I don't-
work?
I'm not saying like he is a heel, but he kind of presents himself off. He doesn't really do much. I think like he. So like in terms of when he does promos, someone else does a promo like Regal Danielson with the Blackpool Combat Club, but
Yeah,
he just there walking around doing stuff. But that's pretty much it.
that's his character.
Yeah, he just
That's his
does the
character.
dirty work and he
Yeah,
just goes at you when he cuts a promo.
yeah,
Like Eddie Kingston, he goes in on a promo, but he's a babyface and people love it.
yeah.
You know, it's like you can love what he says, but he just doesn't care about a lot of things. I don't think he really cares that he is a babyface or not. He's
Facts.
just like he just goes out there to beat people up. That's really all he's there for.
Yeah.
And that's what Moxie kind of is too, in my opinion. He's just there to beat people up.
Oh,
It doesn't really
exactly.
matter if he's a heel or not. If people love him,
Yeah.
cool. If people don't, cool. But I think he can work out well with that. Like you don't really need him to be the mouthpiece. You may need Seth as the mouthpiece because he can actually go in and talk.
Yeah.
So does Roman. So Mox just be that guy to just go out there and beat people up. But anyways, that's a different
Yeah. Roman does
conversation.
need
Yeah,
some need a mic. Thank God they
yeah.
put him
Paul
with Paul
Heyman.
Heyman
Yeah,
because wow, that
yeah.
shit. Him as a heel. This is my yard. Get the
It's the
fuck out of
same
here.
thing
That
every
shit's not
week.
gonna. It's not gonna. It's not gonna work. Is it? He was him doing the fucking "this is my yard" shit. Da 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 da. Kind of the same promo
Like
every
I can
week,
tell you what
reminding me of
he's gonna
Cody
say on
shit.
SmackDown this week. I can literally tell you word for word what he's gonna say.
Yeah.
He's like
Yeah.
insert state here, acknowledge me, and then yeah, it's the same
Yeah.
thing every week.
Facts. It's a fact.
And then um the reason why to switch off a little bit again, but the reason why I mentioned the Bullet Club now is because not just of the hand gesture, but like they
They're
like I
like the
said they
closest
had
thing. They're the
yeah, because
closest thing.
they had the star power for a bit. Like for me trying to get into other companies, I wasn't really too sure who were the Japanese people were.
Yeah.
So it was like it was just Jay White, um, you know, the Good Brothers, Girls of Destiny, then just Japanese guys that I'm not really too familiar with. Some of them were
Yeah.
OGs, but like I wasn't really too familiar with.
Gotcha.
But then they started other like introducing like you know Chris Bay, who I've known before, Ace Austin, who I've known before. Young guys, like, as opposed to now and then, they had the star power introduced already.
Yeah.
And then you had like now you bring the younger guys in, including a little bit of star power. Like they
Exactly.
brought in Juice Robinson, who was an amazing fit for the group. I'm surprised they waited this long to bring
Oh
him into
yeah.
the group. But you have veterans who've been in the game for a while, some OGs, and then some up and comers. So I think they have a mix of everything in their group right now, which is working for them.
And that's why it's working.
Yeah, and
That's
I
why it's
think
working.
you have your eyes on everything. You have your eyes on Juice Robinson and Jay White in New Japan. You have Good Brothers, Chris Bay, Ace Austin, and Impact. You may see them. We saw Forbidden Door.
Yeah.
You've seen them here and there. So it's like you get to see them in different places. So if you're not watching a New Japan product, you see them in at least an Impact in
An
one of the
impact. Yeah.
U.S.
Yeah. Facts.
Companies. So I think they're expanding. That's what I loved about them from the beginning. They're not just located in one company. It's different places, and it's been like that
Hmm.
since day one for them.
Yeah. And that's the cool part about Bullet
Yeah,
Club, that you could see them anywhere. You could see them Ring of Honor. Like back in the day, they were
yeah.
the Ring of Honor group. They were also doing indie shows. You know what I mean? So
PWG, even
exactly,
there.
it was dope as hell. And at the beginning, like you said, there was a mix. There was a mix because okay, AJ's a star. The Young Bucks are still on the rise though.
Yeah, they were still on the
You know
rise
what I
then. Yeah,
mean? You had the Good Brothers, which I remember the first time I was like, "Oh shit, Luke Gallows is in this group." I was like,
yeah,
"That's
yeah. That
dope."
was a surprise
I
to
was
me too.
like,
I was like,
"That's where he went."
yeah,
I was like, "Oh shit, he went to Japan," and like they were, I think they were already made that tag team. Like the Good Brothers were already like
a thing.
not like a thing, but like they were cemented as like they were a solidified tag team.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? The Bucks were still earning their stripes.
yeah,
Now, when we talk about the Bullet Club, where I talked about them doing the Wolfpack storyline with the Elite, there was too much star power, and that's what hurt nWo at the beginning. And I said this back in the day. I'll say it now. Um, I like Cody. I know I shit on him a lot, but I always said that he was jealous of Omega because of what, like, yeah, it was storyline, but I think he actually felt that way because of just the reaction Omega would get. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
the love and reaction Omega would
But
get.
what was he expecting? You go into Japan where he's the most one of the most loved people there.
Yeah, but
What is he jealous
you
of?
feel that you could try to change it. You think you could try to change it, and when it doesn't happen, it's kind of deflating.
I guess that's where he
You know
started
what I
being
mean?
dramatic. I guess that's where maybe I don't know.
I don't know, but it could be a this ain't for that. But I've always felt that that storyline was a little personal with
Yeah,
that shit, and because it was so many stars, the Bucks were already solidified. Kenny was there, Page was on the rise, but everybody in Bullet Club in Japan was already solidified, and it was just like now you just have a powerhouse that has no group to go up against. Yeah, you could tease it with chaos and all this other shit, but
yeah,
you know they're gonna come on top just because of the talent they have.
exactly.
And that's what happened with NWO. They got too much power, too much star power. It was cool at the beginning with the three of them. Bischoff turned. It was cool. They got DiBiase as a mouthpiece. They added uh six. Then they started adding all these other dudes that it just became just whoa, like this is too much happening
Yeah,
all at once. Yeah, it was still a cool thing. They had to do the Wolfpack storyline.
yeah,
Bullet Club didn't have to do it. They didn't have to.
yeah.
Even though we saw the seeds be, even when I saw the seeds being like
Planted a
planted,
little
I
bit.
was
Yeah,
like, if they fucking do this shit, this is gonna be stupid. And because of the way this storyline went, it was bad. But that's
yeah,
what killed Bullet Club for a little bit, and that's what ended up killing NWO because it was just too much. You know what I mean? It was too much happening, and then they became too overpowered, and then it started getting boring.
it's like you
It
have
was
to move
still
people out of the
cool.
way.
It was still getting reactions, but then it started getting boring, and then people were like, "What else is there to watch?"
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I kind of feel like WCW kind of killed themselves. It wasn't, you know what I mean? Like they helped. It wasn't that WWF did nothing. It was just that they just added on by like just doing shit till the end and like not changing it, not progressing, and just doing the same shit over and over again. That just I don't know, just didn't work out. But
yeah.
yeah, that's why I wanted to talk with you about this because I knew you would have a different perspective.
I mean,
Because
because I wasn't really around for both. Like I can't
yeah,
really say well a little bit for DX, but I can't really from the outside looking in.
yeah,
That's what I think. I you can say that like and it's just I don't know how to explain it. It's just like there's two different groups that had different impacts towards wrestling.
Yeah,
But
it's kind of like when people argue who had a more impact. Even though I still say this this question is stupid, but it was like who had a more impact, Stone Cold or The Rock?
Stone,
Who would you
I would say
say?
Stone Cold.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've had
yeah.
people tell me The Rock,
I
and it's
mean,
like
it's I would say
eh, The Rock.
after he left WWE, yeah, maybe, but
Yeah,
Stone Cold because of his wrestling and what he did with the company. The
bro,
Rock
Stone
wasn't there for that long.
Cold, yo, Stone Cold was the fucking man.
I saw
He
I saw
was
something
he
the
was
other day.
born
It
into
was
work.
like
Wait, what happened?
I heard something the other day. I was like, it's crazy to think about. AJ Styles was in WWE, has been in WWE longer than The Rock has ever been in WWE,
Yeah,
and it's crazy.
The Rock was there. What 96 to 03?
Yeah, like 7 years, I
02.
think.
02,
Then yeah,
I
six.
said.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I think AJ surpassed that. He's also 6 years, and it's crazy.
yeah. The Rock. I'm always iffy on The Rock. I love The Rock. I love
Yeah,
The Rock. But if you're picking The Rock over Austin,
you're crazy. Just
you're
but recently
fucking
biased. Recently,
you're,
it's recency biased.
you're smoking something crazy and
You're
you're
drinking too
fucking
much Stone Cold
walling.
Steve Austin's IPA.
Yeah, facts. You're
And
walling because if you think The Rock is better than Stone Cold, and I mean overall,
yeah,
yeah, he has the little catchphrases. So does Stone Cold though. The fuck? People
he
are like, oh yeah,
invented.
but the Rock on the mic was funny as hell. Do you not remember when Stone Cold had a broken neck and was his only job was to sit backstage and cut promos? And that's when we saw the comedic gold of Stone
Yeah,
Cold. Him
like
with
yeah, you
Kurt,
could.
him playing his guitar, him, you know what I mean? Like him fucking with Vince still. It was just like, but yeah, on the mics, The Rock was one of the
out promo
best.
somewhat. Yeah,
But, but Stone Cold wasn't far behind. You know what I mean? It wasn't far
yeah.
behind. People make it seem like Stone Cold couldn't
Was
talk.
terrible. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because The Rock may have started. Yes, I'll give him the starting SmackDown type of thing. I guess people say Impact towards of that, but
And also, people want. No one knows about like nobody really shines this either. They're just like, oh yeah, we started SmackDown.
no
Yeah,
one.
they
No.
only. You know why they started SmackDown? Because WCW had Thunder already, and they were like, you know what, we want to go up against them
Yeah, you
when
got
they were
SmackDown.
already beating them. You know what I mean? So it was
Yeah,
like, but I do give him that. A show named after him was dope as hell. But
yeah,
that's why I was talking about before. That's why I hate when people like when they shitted on Austin when he walked out. What was that? 02? Because of the Brock thing. We've talked about it.
yeah.
That he walked out. I feel like that was fucked up. Feel
On
Vince, this man is one of the major reasons, if
why you're
not
doing
the
well.
top reason why you beat WCW.
Exactly.
Cause if you look at it, if you could go in the street, go to in the street, and you'd be like, "Yo, give me a hell yeah!" What they gonna do?
Hell
Hell
yeah.
yeah! Do this. Hell
Hell
yeah!
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like people know it. People
And
know it. They
peep
know the
and
stunner. They know all this shit. So like he was. I think he was the top reason, and the number two was the loyalty of their guys like Undertaker. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Because Undertaker
we
was
wouldn't leave.
still
He didn't want to
killing
go.
shit. Yeah, he was still killing shit. And then the rise of Triple H, but that didn't really happen until after they were already beating WCW. So like I still count it, but like it's not as effective as Stone Cold.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Yes,
yeah,
Stone Cold and The Rock rivalry, I think, is one of the main reasons why they beat WCW
yeah,
overall. But then of course you got adding building up the tag teams, getting the women in. You know what I mean? Everybody having a storyline, not just the main event. So like a lot of things went into it, but I say the top reason is Stone Cold Steve Austin.
You said you had a Shawn Michaels conspiracy theory. that we never he
Let's
never
talk
got to.
about it. You want me to get into this?
Go on your rant. I'll allow you to go like on a rant
This
about
is a
this.
conspiracy, guys. So don't be like,
Yeah.
Joel's crazy.
Hey,
This is the same way that Kevin Nash and Scott Hall believe that the Montreal screw job was fake. Have you ever heard that?
no, I've not heard
They
this.
think it's fake. Makes
But
sense,
why?
and it kind of makes sense.
Why? What did they say?
Vince couldn't pay Brett, so Brett had to go to WCW. They said, "All right, you know what? So like the whole Montreal screw job was fake." This is what
Yeah,
they say, right? Which when they talked about it, I was like,
I don't. Yeah,
it kind
sense.
of makes sense.
Yeah,
So Vince had, I believe it was a 20-year contract with Brett,
20
which would
years.
have had Brett signed till 2016 or 2017, whatever.
Damn.
He couldn't pay him the money, so he said, "Take the WCW deal." Now Brett was still champion, right?
Yeah.
How do you help this guy out, right? So now you're gonna be. They look at it as they were helping both shows out, because now you're gonna leave with people feeling sympathy for you. We're gonna get heat, but people are gonna want to watch Raw tomorrow. We're gonna build Vince as a character now. You know what I mean? All this stuff, because I always never noticed it till they said it, and they were like, "Also, why did they show Brett like going crazy, and then zoom in when he does WCW? Why zoom in on him when he does that? Why not cut to black
Mm.
before he
Yeah.
even starts getting when he spit on Vince and Vince left ringside? Should have went to black. It didn't. It didn't. So now this helps Brett because now he's
Mm.
got sympathy. People
Got me
online
questioning.
knows his contract ends the 15th. The 15th is a Monday night. Wouldn't he show up that night?
Yeah.
What happens December 15th? He shows up on Nitro. I've never looked it up about the ratings, but I bet the ratings were high as fuck
Yeah.
with people anticipating it.
Yeah.
And them just saying it's money in both. So now WCW gets Brett as on fire because now people feel bad for him. People also love Brett. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? WWE fans were fucking tight. But now he's in WCW. That's a win for WCW because now you could do whatever with him. You could put him in the main event right
Yeah.
away
Yeah.
because he's got all this, you know what I mean? All this built up. So when they broke it down like that, I was like, holy shit, that makes sense. And then Vince was like, yo, Brett, you get paid by WCW. You still get paid. But also, you're helping me out because now I get to build my character. I get to build Sean up as a major heel. Makes fucking sense.
Now, yeah, I kind of see
It
how that
makes
goes.
sense,
Yeah.
right? Not saying I believe it, but makes sense. I was like, holy shit,
Yeah. Like,
this
you're not like a
makes
firm
sense.
believer of it, but you kind of understand why people would say
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Now, the Shawn Michaels conspiracy that I believe. Um, Shawn never got hurt.
Like how? Like what do you
So in Royal Rumble 98, that's where he hurt his back, his lower
yeah.
back.
For carrying the company. Oh,
Right.
no, John.
He
For
hurt
carrying.
his back, right? Undertaker threw him over the rope. I don't know if you
Yeah.
ever seen the clip.
I
He
think so
hits
at the
the
end.
back of the casket. That was at the Royal Rumble
I think I've
98,
seen that one.
right? He loses the belt WrestleMania 98. He's gone. He's off TV. He comes back as like commissioner, stuff like that. Comes back to wrestle in 2002. What year did he retire?
2010?
Right? Takes a while, right? I'm not even sure if that's the right year, but I'm gonna say it is. Fuck it,
Yeah.
2010. I'm gonna say that's right. I believe that's right.
Yeah, that's 26. Yeah, it was
Fuck it,
2010. Yeah.
whatever. We're gonna go with it. That means he wrestled from 02 to 2010, right? Chilling. He got clean. In his doc, he said he prayed one night. The next morning, his back was amazing, which I believe in God and all that. Shout out. I don't know how true that is, though. My conspiracy is Sean didn't want to wrestle for the WWF no more. Sean wanted to jump ship.
He wanted to fake an injury,
Vince
or
faked it. Vince
Vince
said,
faked it.
you know what? Instead of you jumping ship and not wrestling for me no more, stay home. I'll pay you while you stay home. Right?
Ooh.
I'll pay you. Just stay home. Don't go to the other company. But I'll pay you just to stay home and chill. Got bored, came to do a little comeback. You know what I mean? Do his little commissioner thing. Then went back home. And they always say, oh, he stopped being commissioner because one day Vince saw that he was mad high or whatever. I think he just got tired of it. He said, fuck it, I'm going back home. I don't like the travel and shit. When did he come back? Do you know when Sean came back to wrestle?
Was it 204?
02. SummerSlam 02.
Okay, I was off. Okay.
Right? SummerSlam 02. But the story goes that Triple H was supposed to fight Sean at WrestleMania 17. Why would he return at WrestleMania 17? What happened the Monday before WrestleMania 17? Do you know or not?
No, I don't know.
So, Greatest Going Home episode of WrestleMania ever. That's the episode of, it might say McMahon on the contract, but it says Shane McMahon. He bought WCW the Going Home Monday night. So he already knew he was going to buy WCW. That's why Sean was in the plans. But then they never say what happened. Sean just didn't do it. They blame it again. Oh, he was high. Now, there's no other company for you to go to. There's no other. Now you bored at home.
Yeah.
Now
you have to go back to work.
Your boys are going to be on their way to WWE in a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And NWO's coming back for a little bit. What do? Fuck it. I'll come back and wrestle.
Damn.
That's my conspiracy. I think
They should make a documentary on this episode.
I think Vince paid him to stay home.
Okay. They should make a documentary. A&E
facts.
And be like, yo,
facts.
Conspiracy
But
theory.
again, WWE won the war, so they would never tell that story, even if it was.
Yeah.
I'm not. Yeah. I'm just saying this is a conspiracy. Not saying I believe it 100%, but it makes sense. Especially the time that he left.
Yeah.
Was when they weren't doing shit. They were still losing, and when he came back was right after they won. And now there's no other company for you to wrestle at. There's nothing else for you to do. And now your homies are about to come back.
Exactly.
It makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense.
You know what I mean? I love conspiracies, man.
We gotta do an episode on conspiracy theories.
Conspiracy theories in wrestling.
We got a whole bunch.
There's a bunch of theories. There's a bunch that are crazy. Like
it's so crazy that there's a Money in the Bank winner of theory. Get it? Theory.
You can be fucking tight.
Theory.
Yo, you can be tight. But yo, if you go deep onto the net, if you go down the YouTube rabbit hole,
there's a whole bunch.
You will find a bunch of conspiracies. Because of course the top one is the Stephanie McMahon and Randy Savage one, which you've probably heard.
Probably heard of.
Yeah. And then there's a bunch. But they're always talked about. Like you could watch a Cultaholic video, they probably have top 10, whatever.
Yeah.
You could go down deeper into the rabbit hole and find all these conspiracies that be like, holy shit, that's crazy. One of the biggest ones, I believe, shout out my son Kevin Sullivan, but that's all I'm gonna say. We've talked about this off air.
I think so.
The Kevin Sullivan conspiracy theory.
I think so, yeah.
Do you know which one I'm talking about?
I think so. I feel like we talked about it recently, right?
With the Wolverine?
With the what?
With the Wolverine.
With the Wolverine?
With the Wolverine?
I don't think you told me this. I remember Kevin Sullivan.
So the story goes, the Wolverine killed his family and himself.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't want Kevin Sullivan coming after me, homie. I'm not trying to tell the whole story. But yeah, Kevin Sullivan conspiracy theory. I one that's one conspiracy theory 100% agree with. I'm like,
Okay.
yo, facts.
Yeah.
But yeah, yo, you can find a bunch.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out to Sean. And if he did end up sitting at home, good for him because he fucking hoard out fucking Vince for that money and did nothing. Homie sat on his couch and was
Yeah.
getting paid. Imagine that.
Don't have
What?
to get up from your
He's a
house ever
fucking
again.
man if he
If
was
he
able
did
to
that,
pull
yeah.
that shit off.
Yeah.
What? It sounds like a
Uh,
crazy ass story, but makes sense. And then it's like, yo, if he did that, what a G ass
yeah.
move.
Imagine if he did leave though. Imagine that.
What if you jumped?
If he jumped, yeah,
It
would have been crazy.
WCW would have fucking skyrocketed.
Oh, of course. Of
Because
course.
imagine what they could have done with him.
Of course.
Imagine what they could have done with
That would have
him.
been insane. That would have been insane.
What? Sean and Brett again?
Oh my god.
What?
Then they would have definitely capitalized on that somehow with like the whole.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. They would have put him in NWO. NWO versus WCW, the same storyline. And Brett is representing WCW.
Yeah.
Makes sense. It would be dope as hell. Like at the end of that documentary, what really like hit me that I was like, oh shit, they're right. They closed it out with the line. I forgot who said it. And they were like, yo, for the next 10 years, they could have done a Brett and Sean match, and it would have been the best match like of the year. And
You
what's
also
crazy
gotta
is
think
it's a
of like
fact.
you also gotta think like what if like Brett got that 20-year deal?
What looks different?
Everything.
What looks different?
Everything.
Everything,
You
right?
said up to 2017, right? Obviously, it wouldn't have been wrestling, but imagine you see him on screen week to
What?
week.
Well, we got robbed of the rest of his career because he got injured by Goldberg
I mean,
in
yeah, but like
'99.
let's say
So
like
who knows? Look at Jericho. He's still wrestling. Who
that
knows
is
how
true.
long he would have went?
That is true.
You know what I mean?
Right now, he's in the 60s. I wouldn't want to see him back in the. I mean, not shit on
Oh
him,
no,
but
no, no, no.
like
But like,
let's say if
think
like
of
10
it:
years ago, maybe
Brett
I would have
versus Cena.
Brett versus Randy Orton, Batista. Yeah,
The list goes on and on. You know
I
what I
can
mean?
yeah, I can
The
go on
list
for that.
goes on and on.
Yeah,
Then you get Brett versus Stone Cold. You could now Stone Cold got the belt. Now you could do a craziest storyline with them too.
yeah. Jesus Christ.
WrestleMania in Canada,
Oh, that would have
Brett
that would have been
versus
so
Stone
cool.
Cold main event.
That would have been so
Come
cool.
on, you could have did so much shit. But it
So
was
much.
just I don't know why he offered him that deal if he couldn't pay him. I'll never understand that. Was it just to show off, like, yo, I got it, and then you had to back out of it? Like,
Because he couldn't. I guess he couldn't keep his promise, or like not keep his
well,
promise, but
that's what
like
he
he
said. He
couldn't.
was like, I can't pay you that.
Yeah, like
I
then
was like, homie, then
he just said
why?
something that like he knew he couldn't
Yeah,
do.
yeah, like why even
Why? Yeah,
offer it? What?
exactly.
Because WCW was offering OD.
Offer something more realistic at least
Yeah,
instead of saying, "Oh, 20 years or whatever million."
because I feel like Brett said the same thing. Like he was like, yo, I just wanted to, like WCW sent a crazy offer, but I just wanted him to at least get like around the
Yeah,
ballpark. You know what I mean? Bro was one of the top guys.
he was.
He was the champ.
He was.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
he
Like,
was the top guy.
you
He
know what I
was the top
mean?
guy.
That's
Yep.
like Roman saying, yo, AEW's offering me this. And Vince is like, I can't pay you.
20 years.
You know what I mean? Like, I can't pay
Yeah.
you. Sorry. And we
Yeah.
gotta take the belt off of you. He's the top star right now.
Exactly.
What? That's why, like, it's crazy, bro. But
It
yeah,
is.
that whole time, attitude era. But yeah,
Now I wish
back
I
to
could
the
go
main
back.
topic.
Yeah.
Back to the main topic. DX, NWO both had their fair share of influence. In my opinion, I just feel like NWO had more of an influence on wrestling in general.
Yeah, I don't think DX
Everybody's gotta have their
didn't.
different
Yeah,
opinion.
yeah, yeah, of course. I don't think DX didn't have an
No,
impact.
yeah,
It's
of
just
course.
I think
I think
NWO had it.
WWE just plays it up because they're able to.
Yeah.
You know what I
Because
mean?
how much? I mean, they're impactful for different reasons. Like we said before,
Yeah.
it's not like they were the same. If they were like, if DX was like the 2.0 version of NWO, that would have been a different story.
Yeah,
That would have been a different
if they
conversation we're
would have
having right now.
copied them like
Three
for everything they
guys,
did,
yeah.
it would have been like,
You know what you're trying to do,
yeah,
but like
yeah. But it was cool that they kind of
changed up a little bit.
what was different was WWDX did the opposite. They were against the authority.
Yeah.
Somehow NWO got the authority with them with Eric
Yeah.
Bischoff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it was it was just a crazy time. There's times I look back at I'm like, yo, I grew up with like cool wrestling, but
Yeah.
like being that being that time as a teenager, going into school the next day and be like, yo, did y'all fucking see Raw last night? Did y'all see Nitro?
Yeah,
Nah,
exactly. Imagine
homie,
being
I
in
was
school.
watching Raw. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And
Like,
he's like
oh, what
arguing with your
happened?
friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Facts. It's like, yo, that time must have been
It
crazy
was,
to be a
yeah.
wrestling fan.
Yeah.
Like I got the end of it, but like I was in what, preschool? No.
You
You
didn't
know
even
what
know
I
what's
mean?
going on. If you were
Yeah.
watching that in preschool, like I think your
Yo,
teachers would
was
call your parents and be like, "What are
bro,
you showing your kids?"
what's crazy? I tell my parents that all the time. I like watch old episodes. I'm like,
Like, how'd you let me watch
y'all
this
let me
growing up?
watch
Like,
this shit.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's a Godfather,
'Cause you
the
got
whole train.
Yeah.
I knew the whole catchphrase of roll fatty for this pimp daddy. Come on, I was
Uh,
5. What am I doing? You know what I mean?
like I was 5. You used to have
Come
like
on.
Vince McMahon like literally showing his ass on screen.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck were you watching your kids saying? Rikishi? Like that's a whole different story.
Hot lesbian action,
You-
HLA.
They had tag team called the Lesbian.
HLA. What a
Yeah.
time. That shit was crazy. I
Yeah.
was like, I'm watching it. Fuck
Yeah.
it. I'm watching it. Fuck it. Ain't no my. And what happened was, I just started watching it because my dad used to watch it.
Yeah.
So, and my dad had me. What's crazy is, at my age. So like that's like if I have a kid right now. Oh hell yeah! I watch wrestling every day, homie. Of course he's gonna get into it.
Of
You
course,
know what
yeah,
I
of
mean?
course.
Yeah. So it was like
He's
that's
getting
how
into
I
it no matter.
go.
I'm making him get
Yeah.
into it. That's all.
Facts. Nah, well, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Uh,
that's what's crazy about it because I always think that I'm like, yo, how the fuck did I get into it? And then it's always that like my dad was like, I just used to watch it. And that's how you got into it. And then you start watching it on yourself. I started losing interest, and you just kept watching it. I was like, that's
and
crazy.
then 20
But
years
that's
later, you
but
have a
what's crazy,
podcast talking
yeah,
about it. And they,
facts where I just talk shit, talk about
yeah.
conspiracy theories. Shawn Michael, you wasn't injured,
Yeah.
homie. Nah.
He's gonna find us on social media.
You
Call us
lied
out.
to us. You lied to us.
We're gonna get like this episode's gonna get taken down. Watch on YouTube. It's gonna be like
WWE took that shit down.
they copyrighted this because
They'll
they
get
know.
fucking cease and desist.
Yeah, yeah.
Tell
We
you,
can't talk about it at all.
don't you ever talk about that again.
Yeah, they know something that we
I'm
don't.
like, oh shit,
Like,
was it true, homie?
like,
Yo, if I was ever lucky enough to get that interview, I would probably risk it if I ever got a Sean interview.
oh yeah.
I would risk it. That would be the first question I ask. I'd be like, yo, homie,
What were you doing during those years?
were you injured? Or is the conspiracy that you sat out true?
Don't
I
even say
just
you're doing it
want
for
to
the
know.
podcast. Say that you like, you just ask him like, "Yo, were you injured? Tell me."
My homie, it's more than 20 years later.
Exactly. You can
Like,
tell the truth
come
now.
on,
No one's
homie.
here to listen. I'm not recording
Yeah.
anything.
What was it? 24 years, homie?
Yeah.
You could say it now.
Yeah.
And people would probably be like, nice. He fucking got
Nice.
away with it. You know,
Yeah.
people will have the
It's not
same
a big
reaction
deal
I
anymore.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be like, yo, that was a fucking G ass thing you did.
Exactly.
Crazy?
Exactly.
Wildin', bro.
Yeah.
What
I
was I
guess
gonna
that was what were we
I,
talking about?
I was gonna say well for that topic, but into a new one before we dip. A-Dub. So they're gonna announce the details for All Out tomorrow.
Mhm.
I don't know
When-
when you're putting this. I think Friday, right? You're putting this
Yeah,
out?
it should be after. It should be after AW because this is before. This is on Tuesday night. We're recording this.
Now, you think they're gonna change Chicago?
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, I hope not, but they just did Forbidden Door in Chicago. but I understand why. You know what I mean?
And they said that they want Double or Nothing to stay
In
in
Las Vegas.
Vegas. But I don't even look at or Nothing as I look at Double or Nothing as like a Royal Rumble SummerSlam.
Yeah,
All Out will always be the Mania. All Out will always be
but
their big show.
it could be
I
that
think
can
they
slide for a different location.
I think they should start changing locations.
Yeah, they
And
always do it. I mean, they did All In. That was cool.
yeah,
Last year, CM Punk competed. That was cool. He got his moment.
yeah.
They can always go back to Chicago at any point. They can
Uh,
always do Forbidden Door again in Chicago.
yeah.
They can change location for one time.
So what's crazy is they haven't announced the location for the Dynamite and Rampage that week, like the week of
They
All Out.
haven't. I didn't realize that.
No.
I didn't
But
realize
they
that.
did release the ones for the week after,
That
which
yeah,
is in Buffalo
Buffalo. Yeah,
or in Rochester, whatever it is.
yeah,
Um that's far from Chicago.
yeah.
Usually they do it close. You know what I mean?
City. Yeah, close city.
Um I think what would be cool, I don't know, well, we'll see when this comes out. But when they announce it, I think it would be cool. They haven't hit Canada yet. And
That's
Canada's
what
right
I've been hearing.
there.
I've been hearing Canada. I've been hearing Canada as one of their like potential locations for a show in general.
And I think that's maybe where Omega returns
Yeah.
and his home country. That
Yeah.
place would go nuts. The
Nuts.
crowd is already crazy in Canada,
Yeah, the crowds are insane
which
there.
is crazy. Like,
Yeah.
I've never noticed the
If
Canada crowds
if
until
y'all think that the
NXT.
US has a crazy audience, you have to go to different countries.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
different countries take it way more serious than we do.
Yeah. I never noticed until NXT went to Canada and
Yeah.
that place was wild. I
It
was
was
like, oh
insane.
shit.
Weren't
This
there
is
aren't there
crazy.
FTR from Canada? Maybe they're not. I'm not sure. But I think they're from Canada, aren't they?
Ooh, they might be.
I could have sworn
I
they were
know
from
they're
Canada.
cool. I know they're cool with Edge.
Yeah, that's why I thought like
Ooh,
he's close
let's
with them.
see. FTR, where they from?
That isn't that when they won the tag titles in Takeover Canada?
Oh, you might be right. You might be
Actually,
right.
no.
I don't
One of them is
remember,
from
to be honest,
from
but
North Carolina. Yeah, they're both from North Carolina. Never mind. Yeah, completely wrong.
oh, okay.
Oh yeah, so I thought they were from Canada. I could have sworn they were from Canada, but
Why
they're
one of
not.
them? Why it says Mexico for one of them?
What? Who?
I I went on Wikipedia.
Yeah, they both
FTR
say
and
North Carolina for
it
me.
says build from North Carolina, Mexico, and then North Carolina again.
I wonder it's from Mexico.
I wonder who's building from Mexico.
That's weird.
That's
Oh yeah,
wild.
see, look. Yeah, because one of them, it says built from. This was Cash Wheeler. Is built from. It says Asheville, North Carolina, then Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Yeah, so I'm right. One of them is
Yeah.
Canadian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
They probably just moved out.
yeah, they probably live in North
Yeah,
Carolina now. Yeah,
that's dope. So maybe we see a big moment. Maybe we
that's when the FTR.
finally get FTR and Bucks.
Exactly.
Give me that picture of them holding all the fucking
Oh,
belts.
8-star FTR. I can see it already.
Yo,
Picture it. I'm buying
I
that
think
shirt.
I think we've talked about this already a couple weeks ago. They might be the greatest tag team ever.
They are. They are. Yeah.
We might we might not be thinking about it right now. We might be witnessing peak like tag team, like a peak tag team. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I thought we were watching it when we were younger, like with the Hardys, the Dudleys. Um,
People are going to be talking about FTR.
People are gonna be talking
In
about
like 10, 20
FTR.
years from now, people are going to be talking about FTR.
I think they're
That's
gonna talk about FTR the same way we talk about Ric Flair,
yeah.
which is crazy. I know that's a crazy ass statement to make, especially since they're still going.
Yeah.
But the way that they're going, the way that they're hitting companies, the way that they're making impact not only in the ring and their promos, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they're fucking ridiculous,
Ridiculous.
bro.
They are. Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. It's
But
insane.
yeah, I think we're witnessing history. We
We
just
are.
don't know it yet till we look back on it and we're like, because that's like with the John Cena run. Like you don't really notice it till now. You look back and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
that John Cena run.
It's gonna be
that
talked about for a
career
while.
was
Yeah.
fucking crazy.
It's gonna be talked about for a while, and like it's gonna be something that you got to definitely make some type of documentary about.
Yeah.
I feel like I may be too far fetched when saying that,
Oh
But I agree.
no, no, you crazy? They should.
They should. Yeah, they're gonna be
And
talking about this for a while. Like
yeah, and what?
FTR.
Yeah, it's just tough that they couldn't do anything as impactful like in WWE. Like in NXT they did, but when they
Yeah,
moved to the main roster, it was just
like shits and giggles kind
like
of thing.
yeah, like they said, Vince saw them as only professional wrestlers,
Yeah,
and they knew he wasn't gonna change his mind.
yeah.
And they tried to be entertaining. As when they were leaving, you saw all the stuff they did on their way out. They
And what
tried.
they, yeah,
You can't say that they just said "fuck it," we quit, and took their ball and went home. They actually tried
they
to,
tried. Yeah,
and I thought they were entertaining just being them. And then they started doing all this stuff. I kind of thought was corny.
they
You
were.
know what I mean?
I think they tried to do everything in
Yeah,
WWE, like literally everything they were told, but like the
yeah.
different types of
They
entertainment.
did their job. Yeah, they
Yeah,
did. They tried. They
they
tried
tried
to
to be
make it
partnered with.
work.
They tried to be like the heels with Randy Orton.
Yeah,
They tried to do the comedic thing with the Usos when they were showering. That weird thing when they're showering with each other,
yeah,
something like that. But then like they were doing different stuff to try to be entertaining. Not everything was perfect, but some of it was cool. But not everything was for them.
yeah.
Like they couldn't.
And you could tell it wasn't them.
Yeah, yeah, you couldn't
You
tell
know
it
what I
wasn't them.
mean? Like you
So
could tell certain people that's for them. You know what I mean?
yeah,
FTR, you could tell while even watching the segments, it was like, "Ooh, this isn't really them."
exactly.
But like you said, some stuff was cool, some stuff was funny, but like some stuff was just like, "This is kind of corny." Like,
Yeah,
but you can't say they didn't try. It
they
just
did
sucks that they couldn't be
what they
what.
wanted. What they wanted to
Yeah,
be.
you
Yeah,
know what I mean? Like, because AEW's around, but we all know that everybody's mission is to get to WWE.
yeah. Not everyone
Now,
wants to be in AEW, and people want to go to
yeah,
WWE and eventually do stuff there.
no, yeah, and and then there's also certain people like I talked to Chris. His goal has always been Japan. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's not to main event WrestleMania. It's not to do this or that. And WWE is to be in Japan. There's certain people like that too. Because I've talked to a couple of people, wrestlers like that. I know he was like that. RIP Matt Travis was like that. When I've talked to him, he was like, "Yo, Japan is the goal."
yeah,
So but realistically, for most wrestling fans, if they grew up on American wrestling, WWE is the goal. So it
yeah.
just sucks that they couldn't do what they wanted. Like I'm sure they wanted to do more,
Exactly.
and
It's not like
like
they wanted to lead. They probably wanted to
yeah,
accomplish a lot there.
it was just the tag division there. Just
Not. Yeah.
it wasn't it. It wasn't
Yeah.
it, and they're still having a problem with it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? The two main um
Tag
tag
teams have.
teams still are the Usos and New Day. That they will always be cemented as the top two. And I feel like FTR was in that convo when they were there, but they weren't given the shot to really surpass them.
I feel like there are times where I think the Usos can help out. They could have done better with the Usos feud, because I feel like the Usos are a tag team to help elevate other tag teams.
Yeah.
And
Oh, the
with
Usos
them,
are
they put
dope. The
on.
Usos are dope. That one, I think they're gonna go down too as one of the best tag
Yeah,
teams in WWE.
yeah, of course. But like I said, they can help elevate the Street Profits. I fucking love what they're doing with the Street Profits.
Yeah,
Tell me now, like I'm on the same train as you as having Montez leave, but it's like at the same
yeah.
time I'm like I want to see more
No,
Street
yeah, they're
Profits.
doing their thing. They're doing their
Yeah,
thing.
I don't want this feud to end honestly. And it's like that's what I love about tag team wrestling. As much as we want like one person more than the other, I kind of want to still see them together.
Yeah,
Still doing their thing.
nah, definitely. But yeah, man,
Sort of wrapping up there.
yeah, facts. We're witnessing history. That's all
We
we
are.
want to say.
Yeah,
It's fucking crazy, bro.
exactly. So I guess we just wrap it up there. Episode
Yes,
82 of the Ring
sir.
Fanatics Podcast. Go subscribe to us on YouTube. Like I said in the beginning, follow us on all of our platforms. Anywhere we can be found. Give this episode a like and a comment.
Yes, sir.
And SummerSlam viewing party, of course, July 30th. I'll party on in Bushwick, Brooklyn. If you're in New York, come through. If you know people in New York, tell them to come through. The free tickets, link to that in the description of the YouTube video, and our link tree links in our Instagram and Twitter bios. I'm Nick, your host. With me is Joel, my co-host, and we'll see you guys next time.
Gotcha.